Howdy folks, old Jeb coming to you from Big Daddy's store. Yes sir, as usual, I ain't need to tell you what old Henry and old man Bailey's doing over there. So they doing it just like they always do every morning. Got everything going on around here. I'm gonna tell y'all some little stories and true stories this morning about how things was back then, how things is now. You know, old Uncle Warren High, he was a deputy sheriff for years. Him and old Harry House started the first detective agency here in Roanoke Rapids. And back when they first started that detective agency, the Roanoke Rapids Police Department didn't have but a few cars, didn't have a radio on that one of them. But old Harry House and Uncle Warren, they had radios on that car. But anyway, that's, you know, the first detective agency. Moving on, when Uncle Warren was on the sheriff's department, I used to ride with him when I was a kid on Friday night. And I'm gonna tell you the difference between then and now. Back then, you know, we'd go to I had little beer joints and drinking joints everywhere. And they'd get a call and we'd ride over to a place, you know, and I'm not gonna mention any names, but actually I can't, but I can rightly remember them. But I just throw some names in here to you know, to complete the story. And say, we got so and so over here drunk. So Uncle Warren go over there and he's going up in there and he said, give me the keys, John. And John, of course, you know, being a fictitious name, he'd give him the keys and he'd take him out there and put him in the back seat and he'd take him home. He'd go up on the porch and he'd knock on the door and say John's wife's name Margaret. Say, here Margaret, here's the keys. And, you know, in the morning y'all go down there and y'all go on down there and get the car and stuff. But nowadays, you got to deal with this stuff like going on, you know, with this so-called, they call it protest. You know, it ain't nothing but a way to get a TV. You know, there's some out there that's protesting, you know, that peacefully, like they should be. But then you got these crazy people, and I'm gonna call it just like it is. They got these crazy people that want to tear stuff up, that ain't got nothing to do with a protest, got nothing to do with anything. But anyway, back to Uncle Warren. You know, I used to ride with him all the time, and that's the way it was, you know. I remember coming home from Murfreesboro one night with Daddy, and coming down Allsbrook Highway, which at the time was Old Weldon Highway, and policeman stopped him. Said, sir, he said, I'd like to give you a ticket. Daddy asked him, said, why you gonna have to give me a ticket? Because you got a headlight out. And won't never forget it. Daddy told him, he said, well, you might as well write yourself one. He said, because you got one out too. You know, he looked like that, and sure enough, headlight on the police car, he was out. He said, well, I reckon both of us need to go get our headlights fixed. He said, I reckon so. You know, little things, you know, these memories, you know, memories. I keep telling folks, you know, you got to pass these memories along. But Uncle Warren, he played a fiddle. Well, let me back up. Let me back up. He squeaked the fiddle. Now, Big Daddy, you know, now that was a different story. Now, Big Daddy, he could play a fiddle. But Uncle Warren, you know, bless his heart, rest in peace, you know, he squeaked the fiddle. But all in all, you know, I played music on the road for 10 years and played with some of the biggest names in this business up and down this coast, and played Gillis and played the Lone Star Cafe. I played Branson, Missouri. You know, but they got me started in music. I remember when I was real little, well, I reckon I was about 10, 11 years old, I decided I was going to buy my first guitar, so I went to the jewelry box down outside People's Theater, and they had an old red K guitar up there. That thing had the strings that was just so far off the fret that, you know, I mean, it made my fingers bleed when I was learning how to play that guitar. But I paid the man about $1 to $1.50, $2 a day, you know, until I paid for it, which the guitar won't but $18 then. It was a good guitar, but it won't about $18. And Uncle Warren and William Holloway and all them boys used to get up there at the lake, play music every Friday night after Uncle Warren got off. And so I started going up there every Friday night playing with him, and old Uncle Warren, he just be squeaking that fiddle and hollering and just carrying on, just having himself a good time there. William there, he could sing and he could play a guitar. Uncle Warren, like I say, he played enough fiddle where, you know, he be in the band. But Uncle, like I say, Big Daddy, I remember the first banjo that he said that he had, that he made himself, and then I can't recall, but I'm gonna ask the folks of Triplet to sort of refresh my memory. But when you come back out of Big Daddy's and come back down there that first store, that first road to turn back to the right to go over to Valentine, used to be a two-store house down there. And if I ain't mistaken, you know, 'cause I went there many times with Daddy, the man made fiddles. You know, he made fiddles. But the reason we went there, he also made some sort of wine down there in the basement or in the cellar or whatever you want to call it. And that was the reason we stopped by there. He stopped by to get some of that wine or taste some of that wine, see how it was going along. Had those big old white jug out there with old sheepskin over top of it, and they pour it through there and let it settle down there in the bottom. But I know I'm just rambling on this morning, but I'm just hitting these little things, you know, like the way Granddaddy used to do his chewing tobacco. He had old 5-gallon lard can, and he'd during tobacco season, he'd get that tobacco, and he'd pull it off, and he'd break it all up and stuff after it come out of the dry or out the tobacco barn, and he'd get him a 5-gallon bucket, and he'd fill it up. And he put something over in it, whether it was bourbon or whatever else, I don't know what it was, but he put something over in there to give it a little taste. And that's where he got his chewing tobacco. You know, he got his chewing tobacco right there. But anyway, you know, these are happy times back then. And now you got things like I saw last night, a policeman getting hit by a car, knocked way up in there, and they had 4 more of them got shot. Then we had our peaceful, and I mean peaceful protests here in Roncraft. You know, they said they're going to start at 6:30. They started at 6:30, and at 10 minutes after 7, they was done and they went home. Nobody got run out in the streets. Nobody broke no windows or anything else. You know, so it does show that you can have peaceful protests and you can get your message across. You know, so I don't know how many. I rode by that myself. When I rode by there, there was about 15, 16 people out there, but that was about 10 minutes after 6. They ended up having, I think they said about 50 people. You know, so anyway, you know, you just gotta step back and sort of shake your head. You know, I'm mighty afraid that there's gonna be a lot of bloodshed before this thing's all said and done. You know, I hope it don't come to this town. You know, 'cause anybody that lives in this town, y'all know that the redneck brothers and stuff, I don't know how much they're going to put up with, you know, somebody trying to knock one of those out of their stores and stuff. You know, it ain't like the big city. You know, small town, everybody know everybody, so we're going to know who's from out of town. You know, and the out of town folks, and give you an example, they come up across Bunker Hill. I'm going to tell you, the old Bunker Hill that have come up across there doing stuff, I just don't know how things would have been. You know, I really don't. But anyway, you know, you got people that's peacefully doing things, and you got people that don't want to do nothing but break the law, steal things. You know, and I just can't figure them out. The young folks of today, you know, the big thing for us doing was going down to the Little Mint, driving around it, coming back up and going around Riches. You know, that was the richest 500 every Friday and Saturday night. That's what we did. You know, that's what we did. You know, you fall back and think about Sunny Seas. You know, go out there and man drop the string down there. You put a request on there and run it up there. He play it on the radio for you. You know, old Sunny Seas out there, 158 and Zoo Road. They called us Corner, as they called it. Was what it became after that. You know, going to the lake, going swimming, going water skiing and stuff. You know, we won't sit and turn nothing up. I mean, we did some mischief, but Lord, I mean, we won't knocking no windows out and stealing no TVs and trying to burn people's houses down and stuff like that. But y'all, you know, you just throw right in the comments and stuff. I would love to hear from y'all. I got some stories about the Roncraft football team back in 69 and 70. You know, when I broke my leg playing football down at Tarboro, I got all sorts of things where we were undefeated when we went up down to Northern Nash. And I kicked off. The boy 99 yards. One of the times I didn't kick it in the end zone. He went 99 yards, right straight up the middle, didn't nobody touch him. And them country boys up that northern Nash put a butt whooping on us. Now, ain't no need no one to say nothing about it. From that football team, they put a butt whooping on us. You know, I got several stories like that. You know, that don't nobody want to remember. They want to remember them good times and them wins and stuff. But they don't remember that. But anyway, I done took up enough of your time this morning. You know, maybe I jarred some memories and stuff. I'd love to hear about them. You know, I even make stories about them. If you don't want to do it yourself, I'll make stories about them myself. But anyway, I want y'all to have a blessed day. And as always, you ain't got to go home, but you got to go away from here. Y'all come back to see us now, you hear?